Welcome to Table Flippers Podcast. Table Flippers is an outreach of Greater Works Christian Church here in Lancaster, California. I am your host, Robert Enos, along with Chippy the Chipmunk.
If it wasn't for me, no one would listen to this show. It's all about Chippy.
Get ready to be challenged, to be confronted with truth and reality, and get ready for a revolution. It's found at Table Flippers.
Oh boy. Here we go again.
Well, it is ridiculous. It's very, very, very ridiculous that anybody has to even put up with this. It's affecting everybody's life, including the homosexual and the LGBTQ community. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Robert A. Enos, standing for I'm a little angry today because of some of the things that I've been reading and seeing going on. As you know, we are in June and they consider this Pride Month, which is very interesting to me because it's the LGBT, the homosexual, the LGBT, the people that don't know whether they're male or female, dogs or cats or whatever. It's their month to celebrate pride in that mentality or that lifestyle. And it's really weird to me because I don't understand what any of them have done to be proud of. I mean, honestly, we celebrate a day for Memorial Day, those who have fallen fighting for our country. We celebrate Veterans Day, one day for those who are currently enrolled or have been enrolled, the vets that are still with us. And those types of days, one day to say thank you to those who sacrificed themselves. If anybody has the right, if you will, not that pride is a right, but you get my drift. If anybody has a right to be proud of something that they have done or something that they are, or something they have accomplished, it would be our military veterans, those with us and those who still remember and support those who have fallen. So I just have a question for everybody. This is just, general question, and I'm genuinely curious about this. Maybe somebody could answer this in a manner that makes sense. What did the any individual or the group as a whole, the LGBT community or an individual, do to warrant a whole month of pride? Because pride is one of those things. I know that what the Bible says, pride comes before a fall. The Bible speaks against pride. Now, I look at pride in I don't know, maybe two different ways. There's that, let's say I go out and build a house or I do something of that nature. I build something. It could be a bookcase for all I know, or a house or something of that nature. And I stand back and look at it and it's just well built. It's going to suit my purposes and then some. I can have a sense of pride in that. What I mean by that, proud of the work that I've done, not so much the idea that I'm better than somebody else. Okay? So either there's pride in something that you have done, or pride that makes you feel like you're better than other people in that regard. Okay? So, like when they say white pride, well, that's a huge negative because that would say, not that you're just proud of who you are, your heritage, but that gives the idea or the mentality that those who have white pride, or it could be black pride or brown pride or native pride, whatever it is, that they're actually better than somebody else, not just proud of their culture, proud of who they are. And that's also another one. It just got me thinking, isn't it interesting that if a white person says, I have white pride, suddenly we're haters and racists and the worst people to ever be born on this earth. But if somebody with a darker hue said brown pride or black pride or native pride, suddenly that's supposed to be celebrated and accepted. But I want to tell you groups, you people out there, you wonderful people that with a darker skin tone than I have, be very careful of that, because for the same reason all of us who are normal have a problem with this so-called Pride Month, this LGBTQ, LMNOP, QRST, alphabet nonsense, Pride Month. Whenever we say something like white pride, brown pride, native pride, black pride, or whatever it is, we get dangerously close to lumping ourselves into the same group in the same category. And I know people don't like to think about what? I celebrate brown pride. Am I LGBTQ? Yeah, in a very real way. Yes, you are. And all you pointy hat wearers, celebrating your white pride. Same thing. You have this unnatural, ungodly, unrighteous pride that's leading you to your fall. And it just might be the only difference is the LGBT group, they have this weird sense of pride about who they, I'll say it nicely, go to bed with, or what they go to bed with. And, people, white pride or brown pride or native pride or whatever it is, have pride with, think of how silly that is. The color of their skin. They didn't do anything to earn that. They didn't do anything for that. It just is, and the LGBT group, they're having relations with who knows what with or who with. And we, ladies and gentlemen, are supposed to celebrate that as Pride Month and wave the rainbow flag and go shop at Target for the month and whatever else they do. Well, no. I don't even want to know. Don't even tell me. Don't send any cards or letters or anything like that, especially pictures, about their Pride Month. Anyways, I want to get on with this because I have a couple of articles I want to read that go along with this that it was just absurd to me. Before I read this first one, I just want to throw something out to you. And this is more personal for me, but I believe it's one of those things that honestly all of us should embrace. And before I get into it any deeper, I just want to say, I say this with a little bit of a grain of salt because I understand different people have different ways of expressing themselves and doing things and certain feelings. Certain people feel differently about certain things, about how things should be handled. And I do understand that. And I open myself up to that and for not only for the discussion, but to allow people to have their different viewpoints. And that's perfectly fine with me. Yet there's some things that I believe that the more of us that jump on board to something and stand by it, the faster we will see results. Okay. And so what I'm referring to is, remember Target, I believe it was last year, maybe the year before, it doesn't matter. But they always celebrate the Pride Month stuff, rainbow this, rainbow that, to the point that, in my honest opinion, it's very much like grooming little children to be perverts. One of the things that Target stores sold, and in many of the Target stores, it was like a display right up front for everybody to see, were designed to look like women's bathing suits, but they were actually for men wanting to think they were women, because there was a little pocket in the crotch to tuck your junk in, to try to hide it as much as possible so you look a little bit more feminine. I don't know how a 45-year-old fat hairy dude could ever look feminine just because he kind of puts his junk in a pocket somewhere. Hairy, overweight, not shapely, 5 o'clock shadow. I know some of you have seen this. Oh, just leave them alone. That's what they're doing. Listen, if they were just doing that on their own and it wasn't being pushed upon our children, I would probably leave them alone. I would probably just leave it alone. But because it's being forced on our kids more than anything, no, I'm not going to leave them alone. So what happened was, so many people were disgusted with Target that a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people stopped shopping there. And Target suffered. They suffered financially quite a bit. And so they've changed some of their policies. Oh, they still have the rainbow stuff, but it's not as in the forefront as it used to be. And it's, in other words, they stopped. Well, I'm not going to say stopped. They don't shove it down our children's throat as much as they used to. I'll put it that way. My opinion is that when we find corporations and companies like this all of us who are against this kind of nonsense, especially as it's being pushed on our children, stop shopping there. Just simply stop shopping there. I haven't been inside a Target, I couldn't tell you how many years, because there was always a weird vibe to me in Target. Always a weird vibe. I didn't like going in there. I always felt like I was looking over my shoulder, not about being robbed, but honestly about being approached by some pervert. I'm just telling you the truth. This is just me. And so I stopped shopping there years ago. But then when all of this stuff started coming out, it made me realize, oh, I was picking up on something way back when, before it was so much in the forefront. And so anyways, that was just me. I just stopped going there. I just stopped shopping there. There's a lot of places in town that I haven't been to because of these types of things. You know, there's restaurants in town that I just won't go into anymore because of the way they treated the whole COVID nonsense. I remember there was a restaurant in town that I walked in, and a young lady all the way across the restaurant that was working there started screaming. I don't mean just, excuse me, sir, but, you know, we have a policy wearing a mask. She was screaming, you can't come in here. You get out of here. You ain't got a mask on. And she was screaming this. And I says, yeah, I don't wear masks. These things don't, number one, they don't work to keep away COVID, which was proven. I couldn't tell you how many times. But secondly, they're actually making people more sick because it traps all that moisture and bacteria in your lungs and in that mask, and you just keep breathing it in and out, breathing it in and out. You don't expel it. It just stays there, and it was making people sick. So I refused to wear one. So when she's screaming at me, I just looked at her and says, okay, I'm going to leave, but I will never be back here again. Never. And I haven't been back. And there's some places like that. There's a store out here that, again, it was around Christmas time, and we were doing some Christmas shopping. We walk in, young man working there started freaking out. And these people were freaking out. Not just, excuse me, sir, I'm sorry, but, you know, store policy, I just have to follow procedure. I would have respected that. But freaking out that I didn't have a mask on. And some places I just said, forget it. Then, you know, they're going to, and I was told, oh, we're going to call the cops. When they said something like that, then I just ignored them completely. Other times I would just walk out. You know, if they ask me or whatever, I don't want to, you know, for you to come here and shop, you have to wear a mask. That's a policy right now. I'm not going to wear a mask, and I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I would leave. I'd be frustrated, but I would leave. But that's their store policy. They have every right to do that. But when they're freaking out on me, and then especially threatening me, I'm not even halfway through the door, and they're threatening me, calling the sheriff's department, having me arrested. Okay, call them. And I would just go on my way and do my thing. So anyway, some of this was really ridiculous. So depending how they treated me in these places, or the way they treat certain things like this LGBT Pride Month and all that nonsense, is going to determine where I put my dollars. You know, my paycheck, I'm not just going to go throw it away to these causes and to these places. This is disgusting to me, and I don't want any part of it. Which brings me to this article. So this article, here's the... what is this? The title. It says, Fitness Center Internal Memo Labels Pride and BLM Symbols Freedom of Expression Bans U.S. Flag Except for Holidays. So this fitness center, and I'll tell you which one in just a moment because it's in the article, will allow the workers, the managers and such, to slap up the rainbow pride flag, BLM flags, and other flags, because it's just freedom of expression, people. It's freedom of expression. But don't put that American flag up except for maybe 4th of July. Don't put that American flag up except maybe Flag Day. Now, this is in the United States of America, and a very well-known fitness center. This was written by Katie Jerkovich. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Jerkovich. That's probably a nicer way of saying Katie Jerkovich. This was published today, June 11th, 2024, and this is from the Daily Wire. It says, an internal memo from the 24-hour fitness center labels Black Lives Matter and Pride symbols freedom of expression while banning patriotic items like the American flag except for holidays. Now, ladies and gentlemen, one of the reasons why this particular article not just captured my attention because of the title and what it was, but when I read it and found out it was 24-hour fitness, it really saddened me because we have a 24-hour fitness here in my hometown. I've been in that 24-hour fitness several times. A long time ago, I was a client. You know, I had my, what do they call it? Anyways, I paid money. I went in there. I worked out. And I've been to other gyms since then, and I'm really happy at the CrossFit gym. It's CrossFit Inner Chamber Gym in Lancaster, California, the best gym on the planet. Go in there, tell Coach Josh, who is also now the owner, that I, Robert Angry A. Enos, sent you to him. Phenomenal gym, phenomenal people, great workout, great classes. You don't have to take the classes, but I highly suggest it. It's like having a personal trainer. Wonderful, 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 awesome gym. That's my plug. They didn't give me any money for that, but I'm going to hit them up now. But anyways, so this 24-hour fitness, and I was actually just thinking, I was sitting down the last maybe week or so processing. I want to get into go get a gym membership, maybe at 24. I was thinking of 24-hour or one of the other ones local, just mainly for the weights, because the CrossFit gym has a lot of weights, but not a lot of the machines. And there's a reason why. Don't think, oh, then it's not a real gym. No, ladies and gentlemen, you'll get a much better workout at the CrossFit gym than that you will in any other gym. Trust me on that. I thought it strange too when I walked in there, saw the layout. I go, oh, I won't get a great work, but I got a free week, so I gave it a shot, fell in love with it, and I understand the madness, if you will, behind CrossFit, and it works. But I was also considering just going to get a membership in one of these local gyms that had all the machines and the weights, where it's just basically lifting for that aspect of it, so that I can go get my CrossFit workout and then hit the other gym once in a while just to go get the weight workout. I was going to do that. 24-hour was in my sights, ladies and gentlemen. So when I read this, 24-hour fitness is no longer in my sights, ladies and gentlemen, because I am a patriot. I am a true patriot. I love my flag. I love my country. Don't like my government very much, but I love this country. So when they tell me, or somebody says, or I find out, oh, you can fly that pride flag, but I don't know about that American flag. Did you know in some places the American flag is considered racist? Racist! Can you believe that? America is the great melting pot. Look around. There's white people, there's brown people, there's black people, there's Asian people, there's Middle East people that come find their roots in the Middle East. They come to America, and we're supposed to blend all together in the great melting pot as one American whole. And that's what America is supposed to be like. Now, it's not like that anymore. Thank you, Democrats. Thank you, liberals. You racist slime buckets. But that's what America is supposed to be. And that's what America has been. Anyways. So when they tell me I can't fly my American flag, or they say, well, internally we're not going to fly the American flag except on special occasions. No, The American flag should be up there everywhere, 24/7. 365 days a week, and that pride flag should be nowhere. Nowhere. If your clients want to wear it on a t-shirt, that's up to them. This is still America. It's their freedom. But in an establishment like that, if you are dissing the American flag, you diss me and every other true American. I will never go to another 24-hour fitness center. I'm just telling you right now. Even if somebody's like, hey, come and work out with me. Where you go? 24. Nope. I'll meet you at the CrossFit gym, or we're not meeting at all. Listen, I'm not telling them they have to leave. I'm not telling them they have to stop. This is my personal conviction. I wish everybody in America had it, but this is my personal conviction. This is one reason why I don't go to Disneyland anymore. I feel like Disneyland has betrayed us, ladies and gentlemen. Some of you haven't yet figured it out, but they have betrayed us. A place that used to be, or what we thought was kid-friendly, family-friendly, now is kid grooming, child grooming, and working with those who are coming against the nuclear family to try to recreate it in their perverted image. That's Disney right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's in their cartoons. That's in everything. As a matter of fact, at Disneyland, which is here in Southern California, not too far from me, they have this shop where the little kids can go in there and dress up as princesses. And they have a fairy godmother that takes them through the process. Here, it's a man dressed as a fairy godmother. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. That's what's happening. I feel absolutely betrayed by Disney. I grew up with Disney. Not only watching their cartoons and watching their shows and the movies that they put out, But we would go minimum of once a year, sometimes 3 times a year. You know, my wife and I, at one point, after the kids all kind of grew up and got older and was moving out, going off to school and everything, we were the ones that got the season's pass. So just so when we had some free time, we could just go out there and hang out together and walk around. We were Disney family. I had Disney T-shirts and Disney porcelain figurines, and we had Disney paintings on our wall, real world art with Disney characters in them on our wall. We were Disney. And then when we find out that they're pushing this perversion from within, they betrayed us, ladies and gentlemen, not just me, not just my wife, not just my kids and my grandkids, but they betrayed us all because they're trying to destroy and go against the very things that really made Disney who they are. It was the family. It was the children. So instead of now protecting those children, you know, Mr. Rogers, you guys remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? There, you can find these clips. You could probably find them. There's a clip of him singing, you know, in the Mr. Rogers house thing, you know, on the show. You know, a boy is always going to be a boy. A girl is always going to be a girl. And the girls are the mommies, and the boys are the daddies. And I'm butchering the song, of course. But he had it figured out way back when. Disney, I thought, had it figured out. And apparently they haven't. They've really gone, full perversion in my opinion. Can't even watch a Star Wars show. There was one of the Star Wars movies that we were watching it. And at the end, or near the end of the movie, after they won this big giant battle and all the rebels come together, you know, people are hugging and shaking hands and high-fiving. And then you got these 2 women making out. Okay, why is that needed? Why is that needed? My children do not need to see that. My children do not need to be confused with that. Because my children, even when they were 4 and 5 years old, were smart enough to figure out that it was one man, one woman, creates a family. Not 2 women, not 2 men, one man, one woman. And now they can't even go to watch a Star Wars movie without this perversion being pushed on them. And you know what? We were a Star Wars family. You know, I have a son that just loves Star Wars. And I did too. I was one of those kids way back when in the late 70s that, you know, when Halloween came around, and we went to school and we were allowed to dress up. I know. That's before I was smart enough to understand the wickedness of Halloween. It was more of a cultural thing than it was at all a religious thing. We even had costume parties at the school. And after Star Wars came out, I couldn't tell you how many little boys dressed up like Luke Skywalker or Darth Vader, and how many girls tried to dress up like Princess Leia or one of the, you know, or Chewbacca or something, you know. So it was all Star Wars. So we grew up with that. That was part of who we are in our growing up. And now they're literally betraying us. They're stabbing us all in the back and still wanting our money. And so how do you fix it? Stop giving them your money. Stop shopping at Target. Stop going to Disneyland. Stop going to 24-hour fitness. And when they start getting hurt in their pocketbook and they can trace it back to all this LGBT nonsense, they will stop it. Because for them, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, they don't really care. To them, it's their businesses, their corporations. It's dollars. It's the bottom line. That's what they really care for. And they feel that if we push this agenda, we'll make money. And they will. Why? Because all the people that support that LGBT nonsense will go there, of course. But also the people that just don't seem to care, or they care, but they only complain about it verbally but do nothing to change their lifestyle. In other words, they won't go shop somewhere else. They won't go to another gym. And they'll always take their kids to Disneyland, complaining the whole time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, stop complaining about it and do something about it. And the best thing that you can do is stop giving them your money. But again, that's my personal opinion. Let me get back to this. So this internal memo from 24 Hour Fitness says that Black Lives Matter and pride symbols are freedom of expression, but they want to ban patriotic items such as the American flag. Well, except for holidays. It's okay on the 4th of July, I guess. So it says... Goes on to say, in the letter obtained by Libs of TikTok, it informs employees that the fitness company is committed to creating a more inclusive environment before it details what is and is not allowed. The memo said it encourages employees to bring their full selves to work every day. Bring their full selves to work every day? What do they leave half of it at home? You know, some of this rhetoric, this psycho rhetoric, psychobabble is I think they use these words in such a way that they try to wow people, like, oh yeah, I want to bring my full self to work today. You know, I've never not taken my full self anywhere. My full self goes to bed. My full self gets out of bed. My full self comes to the church. My full self goes to the restaurant. My full self is everywhere. This is one of the dumbest things that they're trying to, again, when you have this, I don't know, ideology, this LGBT ideology, and you have to bring in this kind of psycho nonsense, psycho babble to try to make it sound legitimate, it just proves how illegitimate it is. Bring your full selves to work today. Don't leave half of you at home. Anyways, I'm sorry. So the memo said it encourages employees to bring their full selves to work every day, and then lists that team members can wear apparel that shows their solidarity and support for the following movements. So the people that work there can wear their clothing, their T-shirts, whatever they have, shows solidarity and support for these following movements: Black Lives Matter, or BLM words, Pride and or Pride Rainbow logo, Juneteenth logo, symbol or date as Juneteenth, June 19th, U.S. flag or United States logo on federal holidays like Memorial Day, Flag Day, 4th of July, Veterans Day, Patriots Day, etc. So you can wear your Juneteenth, your Pride Rainbow flag, your Black Lives Matter flag, T-shirt every day, but only bring the American flag on, certain patriotic holidays. Ladies and gentlemen, is this the America that you really want? Now stop to think about it. I just want you to understand this. If I was in Mexico and this was, you can wear all these other things, but the Mexican flag, I would ask the Mexican people the same thing. Is this the Mexico you want to live in? To which I'm pretty sure that most of the people in Mexico would say, no, absolutely not. And if I ask that anywhere else in the world, you can wear any other flag, all these other flags, especially that just promote sexual choice. But the flag of your nation, well, no, you can't wear that. Is that the type of nation you want to grow up in or live in or raise your children in? Normal people, I'll just put it this way. Normal people would say absolutely not. This is ridiculous. We don't want to live in an America like this because it's not really America, is it? That's not freedom of expression. That's not freedom of choice. That's not freedom of speech. I said freedom of choice. And yeah, I do believe in freedom of choice, even in regard to the abortion issue. I know this is going to surprise a lot of people, but my freedom of choice is this: choose life! Choose life. Murder should be illegal, including the baby in the womb. So choose life. That's my freedom of choice, ladies and gentlemen. If you choose anything other than life, it should be illegal because that's a baby. It's a human being. Anyways, let me go on with this. It says the leaked memo details come as Americans are being inundated all month long by corporate America from LGBTQ activists about embracing pride. Again, remember, ladies and gentlemen, pride is one of those deadly sins, and pride comes before the fall. Last year, Target faced massive backlash when it put its June Pride merchandise like tuck-friendly female swimsuits front and center in the store. This year, the retail store has decided it will tamp back the LGBTQ push after it faced boycotts and sinking sales. The retailer told the Associated Press that only a limited number of its stores would be carrying special LGBT themed merchandise in June. The store said the merchandise would only be available in select markets based on guest insights and customer research. Despite the pullback, the store said that it still maintained that it fully supported the LGBT movement. Target is committed to supporting LGBTQIA+. Lord, it just keeps getting longer, even in this article. Anyways, Target is committing to supporting the LGBTQIA+ community during Pride Month and year-round. Target said, most importantly, we want to create a welcoming and supportive environment for our LGBTQIA+ plus team members, which reflects our culture of care for our over 400,000 people who work at Target. Last year, merchandise that was part of the store's Pride collection, like extra crotch coverage, female swimsuits, and Pride-themed onesies, spurred calls for boycotts of Target, leading to declining sales and stock prices. The sales plummeted during the second quarter after the backlash started and fell for the first time in 6 years, falling 5.4% compared to the same period last year. Online sales fell nearly twice as much, 10.5%, Target said. So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. If just 5% drop in sales could cause Target, this major store, department store, 400,000 employees, could cause them to make a big change in the way they push the LGBT, QIA plus nonsense. What if their sales dropped 20%, 25%, 30%? 50%, they would change altogether. They would have to change altogether to stay in business. So, ladies and gentlemen, especially if you are a follower of Jesus Christ, if you go to church, if you claim to be a Christian and a follower of Jesus, I honestly, this is me. I can't take you to a Bible verse and says, thou shalt not shop at Target, but I can certainly take you to a whole lot of Bible verses that talk about not partnering or being in agreement with wickedness and darkness. And that's what this is. So I just want to ask you a question. I know you're not, in a position to answer me where we can have a dialogue, but I just want to ask you this question. If you shop at Target, why? Why do you shop at Target? Why would you shop at a place that will take your money to fund the grooming and the sexual destruction and perversion of our children? Same thing with Disneyland. Again, if you go, that's between you and God. Even if somebody in my church, if I see some pictures online, or if they say, yeah, we were at Disneyland, okay. I'm not saying you personally are doing anything in that, but like I said, I feel betrayed by them, and I'm not going to give my betrayer my money. So that's just me. But I would just like to ask, not just, again, to get you thinking about it. That's it. We're not in a position, like I said, to have dialogue. But why? Why would you do that? Now, don't get me wrong. For a lot of people that grew up at Disney or loved Disneyland or loved what Disneyland was, it's hard to find another theme park on that same level. And I agree, and it's heartbreaking. I got grandkids that I want to take to places like that. But at the same time, I don't want them getting twisted and perverted just to touch something inside of me from my own childhood, or, something that was a tradition for me that meant something to me 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. There's other things that I can do to make those memories and create new traditions. And I'm just saying, maybe, ladies and gentlemen, it's time that we do that. Maybe it's time that all the people who are just tired of this stuff being shoved down our throat, stop going to 24-hour fitness. Stop going to Target. Stop going to Disneyland or any other restaurant or business that pushes this stuff. So that brings me to our next article. And this one is by Daily Wire. It was published today, June 11th, 2024. And it says, parents blast school district at board meeting after, now get this, Genderqueer Witch administered sexual survey to students. Now, the reason I wanted to start with that article about what's going on at Target, at 24-hour fitness, and it touched upon Target, and I brought out a little bit about Disneyland, because a lot of people are still thinking, well, no, I protect my kids. I'll keep my kids safe. I'm not going to let anybody mess with my kids at Disneyland. We're just going to go on some rides and have some fun. Okay. But what you don't understand is if we don't put a stop to it, it keeps evolving and it keeps moving and it gets darker. It gets more wicked. So right now, when you and your 4-year-old are on the teacups having a good time, making yourself sick, spinning around, and it is a fun time, don't get me wrong. But every time you give into this, every time you pay money into this, they get more and more powerful, more and more devious. And I want to show you where this begins to end up. It's ending up in our schools. So this was written by Leif Lemahieu, Lemahieu. Lemieux. Interesting name. Anyways, it says, parents blasted a Pennsylvania school district and continued to demand answers on Monday night after the revelation that it allowed students to be surveyed by a genderqueer witch. I don't know why I put those in. I'm a little dyslexic on this, but genderqueer witch on sexual subjects without parental permission. So this school in Pennsylvania allowed a genderqueer witch to survey the students in a school on sexual topics without the parents' knowledge of it. The parents' comments came during the meeting of the Unionville Chadds Ford School District School Board, and after the Daily Wire reported that Unionville High School had brought in a genderqueer witch known as Deni, D-E-N-I, Tobin, T-O-B-I-N, to speak to high school freshmen about the issue of dating violence last year. When parents first asked about Tobin's presentation, they were accused of spreading misinformation. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, you know how if you disagree with a liberal, you're automatically a racist. Doesn't even matter what the subject is. You're just automatically a racist or a xenophobe or a homophobe or a libophobe or something like that. So these Christophobes, these righteousnophobes, I know I'm making up some words, but to make a point, these godliness-ophobes, people that are afraid and fearful of godliness, fearful of righteousness, fearful of Jesus Christ and what he represents, they bought into this new thing now. If you have any kind of argument with them and you're just trying to have a conversation, hey, why did this even happen? Oh, you're spreading information. Automatically, you're just spreading information, And I know it kind of started with President Trump, with the fake news. Yes, fake news, and it was right to do that when it really is fake news. But these guys just started saying, no, you guys are spreading misinformation, without entering into a full dialogue about this whole thing to try to get to the bottom of it. So anyways, goes on to say, I'm here tonight to speak about a troubling pattern of misconduct in school district that undermines the sanctity of parental rights, local parent and lawyer Chad Williams said during public comment at the board meeting. Williams has filed a series of public information requests about Tobin's presentation and the sexual violence surveys that were administered to students without parental permission, in addition to filing a misconduct complaint against District Superintendent John Sandville. In the spring of 2023, just a month after a transgender person walked into a Christian school and murdered 3 children and 3 adults because they were Christians, Williams added, Dr. Sandville claimed that concerns about a transgender self-described queer witch who was teaching high school freshmen about sexual topics were, quote, unfounded, and he accused parents of spreading misinformation. Ladies and gentlemen, I went and found this person, Deni, D-E-N-I, Tobin, on Facebook, and it took me literally, after I read this, less than 5 minutes to find this person on Facebook, scroll through their Facebook stuff, look at some of their pictures and stuff, and sure enough, this really is a what do you call himself? Genderqueer witch. And honestly, I looked at the pictures. I couldn't tell if some of the pictures, oh, that's a girl. Some of the pictures, no, that's definitely a boy. I couldn't even tell. So this young person is extremely confused. Genderqueer witch, and even on their Facebook identifies as a they them. Did you know that the they thems, the demons refer to themselves as they and them? Biblically, in the Bible, demons referred to themselves as they and them. It's interesting, isn't it? So this demon-possessed young person, queer witch, and this is this person's words. I don't know if it was a boy or girl, so that's why I'm saying this person. That's this person's words. Goes and does the survey, and now the school board, the president of the school board is, oh, well, no, you're spreading misinformation. Dude, it took me 5 minutes to look it up. Look it up. Do your job. Anyways, goes on to say that Williams attempted to set up a meeting with district officials, but says he has been so far stonewalled in the efforts for full transparency around the incident. Other parents criticized the school board during the meeting, with one accusing the district of hiding information on the presentation from parents. Schools made significant efforts to prevent parents from finding out the truth about the event, and the event went so far as to conduct personal attacks against those who had the temerity to inquire about the survey, a mother named Fabiana said. A father named Eric said that his child was handed materials from Planned Parenthood during Tobin's presentation, something the district was denied. Videos from the group that Tobin was brought in with, the Chester County Crime Victim Center, show Tobin presenting Planned Parenthood's FRIES, freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific sexual consent acronym. Oh, so that's something that they gave to the kids, FRIES, but not the good kind like French fries. It was freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, and specific sexual contact acronym. I don't want my kids receiving Planned Parenthood information in the public school that I pay for, he said. And for you to look at me and say, oh, it's fake news. You're falling for fake news. This is misinformation. You're peddling misinformation, and it's wrong. Multiple parents also made reference to the district superintendent's wife commenting fake news on a post from Chester County Republican Party sharing the Daily News article detailing parental concerns about the dating violence presentation. Unionville High Principal Amy Jenkins sent Williams an email on Tuesday asking to confirm a day for a meeting with him, but did not confirm whether other school board members or officials would be in attendance as requested. The district conducted an investigation and determined that policy had not been followed when Tobin had distributed the sex-themed surveys to the students. The surveys asked students about their gender identity and whether they had ever pressured someone into sexual acts or whether someone had pressured them to do something sexual. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is so interesting because this genderqueer witch, somebody who's into witchcraft, and yes, the person on Facebook, this Denny Tobin, was wearing a pentagram necklace with all the rainbow garb and everything, and there was like a goat head thing in another picture. So this is certainly somebody that's into witchcraft, somebody that's struggling with their sexual identity. They should not be anywhere around children at all. They should not be around children whatsoever. And they allowed this pervert, this demon-possessed pervert, to come into a classroom and give a sexual survey? What have we become, ladies and gentlemen? Well, I tell you, I know what we've become, but I'll tell you how it started. Nobody stood up and put a stop to it when such stores, such as Target and those other ones, started making way for the LGBT mindset and mentality. Nobody stood against it when such gyms as 24-Hour Fitness or other ones started saying, hey, you can put a pride flag up, that American flag, don't put that up. And such amusement parks and theme parks such as Disneyland going full pervert. And people are saying, well, we can still go on rides and still have fun. We just won't go over there with that man wearing a dress. Instead of putting it down way back then and putting a stop to it, we allowed it. We just let it keep going. Because a lot of people say, well, you're infringing upon their freedom. No, I have the freedom to go somewhere else to shop. I have the freedom to stay away from Disneyland. I have the freedom to stay out of 24-Hour Fitness and go somewhere else. I'm exercising my freedom. If they still want to exercise their freedom, let them do it. But if myself and many people like me exercise my freedom and stay away from there, they're not getting my dollars. So them exercising their freedom is going to run them into bankruptcy or force them to make some radical changes in the way they do things. So it's all about expression of freedom. It's just, where are you going to express your freedom, ladies and gentlemen? Are you going to express your freedom? Well, I'm free to go to Disneyland. Yes, you are. You're free to give your money to anybody that you want to. But don't be surprised when you find that you're expressed your freedom and gave your money to the people that are eventually going to put these genderqueer witches in your children's classroom because you gave your money to Target or 24 or Disney or wherever it was. Don't be surprised at that. Don't be surprised when these things come knocking at your door. Don't be surprised when someday you've been shopping at Target for the last 20 years and then your child comes home, your little boy comes home looking like a girl, and you find out that the teacher has been taking your child down for what do they call it? Sex-altering medications and drugs against your will. Don't get upset at it then. Come on, you put them in Target clothes with that spirit behind it. You took them to Disney with that spirit behind them. You go after work to work out at 24-hour fitness with that spirit behind it. Don't be surprised when your little girl comes home with a girlfriend. Don't be surprised when your little boy comes home with a boyfriend. Don't be surprised when they want to cut you off because you still like, oh, I made a mistake. We're going to stand as a nuclear family. We're going to stand against this. No, you can't. And the next thing you know, you're arrested and put in jail for just trying to stand up for your parental rights. So don't get upset at that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to exercise your freedom to go give your money to these people, that's your freedom. That's up to you. But don't get upset when that LGBT wicked perversion ends up in your own home and in the classroom with your own children. Don't be upset at that. See, there's a lot of otherwise good people out there still going to Target saying it's not my battle. I'm not going to buy that. I'll go buy a man's bathing suit, not that bathing suit, so I'm good. Sorry, it's not good enough because it's creating something much bigger and much uglier, and our children are the ones paying for it. So, ladies and gentlemen, what do? Just stop giving them your money. Go somewhere else. If you find out that your restaurant that you've been going to is into this as well, go to another restaurant. There's always, around here, there's so many different restaurants that, I can go to any restaurant. And there's plenty of them out there that are against this stuff and don't want to play that game. I'll go over to that restaurant. Anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope you got something out of this. I hope that you're tracking with me. I hope you're moving with me. I hope these things are making an impact on you. I wish I can get in here and do more, which I believe I will soon, but I just had to get in here today and be with you, ladies and gentlemen. This is so phenomenal. I miss each and every one of you, and I miss having you miss my voice. Anyways, God bless you. I hope to see you all soon. Thank you for joining us at Table Flippers. Please email me at gwccrobert@gmail.com, gwccrobert@gmail.com. Now go out and have a table flipping day.
Oh, brother, how cheesy.
Should I have said have a chipalicious day?
Chipalicious? Now you're talking.
Say goodbye, Chippy.